Oh, the long-suffering Dawi Flame Cannon, probably the oldest meme semi-useless unit in the entire game. Since Game 1, this thing has never really been great, but Creative Assembly went for another pass at it on this last patch, giving it more range, reducing its cost, and also making it a bit more accurate in terms of its spread of projectiles, and should be a little bit better. Today we're going to see Von Karstein take it against the Greenskins. It's a matchup where it's been decent for a while. Flame Cannon's up to 280 range, still is one of the shortest range, if not the shortest, kind of traditional artillery piece in the game. Does massive explosive damage and also applies that burnt contact effect, so it will debuff leadership. Quite good against low leadership factions, such as Greenskins. Yeah, I've got Thoric Ironbrow leading the way with a Master Engineer. And Norgleming's Ironbreakers with some Dwarf Warriors and Miners Blasting Charges out on the flanks. We've got Thunderers as well, Dwarf Warriors, Great Weapons, a couple of Slayers, and some Gyros around. Already that one Goblin just getting absolutely exploded by Flame Cannons. Front line of Gobos here. We'll follow up of Squig Herds. Got some Stone Trolls out on the flanks, Pump Wagons, which now have precursor weapons rather than... Yeah, anyway, we'll talk more about that when they get into melee, but rather than a specific melee attack of those little dudes on the side throwing mushrooms, it now counts as a missile attack, which is interesting. We'll see how it works in this replay. Got some Squig Hoppers over here, some more Pump Wagons, including the Spore Splodas. So one thing to note quickly, and then we'll get back to the Flame Cannon glory as their shots kind of stream across the field here. So the regular damage profile of these little precursor mushrooms that they throw, they're all explosive. Basically, 10 explosive damage, 5 AP, which is interesting. Spore Splodas actually do more damage. Sorry, no, just have a faster reload time. You would think they would do more damage given the... Yeah, okay, so giant exploding spores here. So it's still... in melee, they'll still do a 50% explosive extra on top of it. Okay, so we all learned something new today. Anyway, let's get to the battle here. Watch the Flame Cannons already eliminated one unit of Goblins in just 2 volleys. Going to now switch on to Trolls. The Troll in the center is not a Stone Troll. They have no missile resistance here, but still, a lot of the power of the Flame Cannon comes from its explosive damage, so using it to shoot monstrous infantry like this is not necessarily the best. It's definitely best shooting traditional infantry. It's okay against cavalry, but if it could make some contact with the Trolls, certainly it will do some damage, break up their leadership. Rune of Slowness on them to kind of stop them up, and they do eventually get routed off, so even, you know, Flame Cannon not necessarily killing a lot of their unit models does help to see them away with some other combined troops. Got Stone Trolls moving in, Flash Bomb there from the Engineers, going to slow them down. Got the Ring of Thori as well. Does a little bit of AoE damage on those Goblins, but a lot of it came from those blasting charges already. A lot of the Greenskins units being pushed back, but it's kind of just how this goes. This matchup often devolves into yeah, all sorts of chaos. Lots of Greenskins routing and coming back all over the field as the Dawi try and hold out, which is perfectly thematic and lore appropriate, but desperately trying to defend the Flame Cannon here. We see Rune of Doom pop off as these Dwarf Warriors get into combat against some Squig Herds. Flame Cannons are still firing, at least momentarily. It looks like the crew now does get knocked off there. See if they're able to maintain. Actually, they're mostly able to stay on the artillery despite the Squig Herds, which is quite impressive. Wah gets popped off as the Slayers kind of counter-collapse there, so should be able to push back the Slayers, but definitely Greenskins getting a nice push together out on this flank. I see that these guys are using their ammunition. Let's get in close and see if we can actually... Okay, so yeah, they do actually throw these little mushroom missiles now, which is previously those guys were just doing that attack animation off the side, and it was doing like full weapon strength plus charge bonus, I believe, which is one of the reasons why Pump Wagons were very broken in specific circumstances in the last patch. But now, it's interesting. Yeah, they're definitely going through their ammo, at least these Spore Splodas. So it does seem like they'll continue to throw while in melee. We'll have to check their value after the fact to see if they're even paying for themselves, but it's definitely an interesting change. All the Squigs and the Mohawks kind of blend together at that distance. Let's get in close. Flame Cannon crew still online. Grimgor tangling with Thorek, and the Hag also slapping him with the meat sack, fish sack here. Thorek is definitely having a pretty bad time, but he's quite tanky. He can hopefully hold out, get a nice flash bomb here as well, decrease the melee defense all the units in this nearby area and slow them down. See if Thorek himself can possibly escape there. Norgrimling's Ironbreakers are also in support. Help try and hold out against this massive horde of Greenskins. Lots of Gobbo still incoming. And very impressively, the Flame Cannons managed to stay online. Some devastating close-range hits there on those Gobbos all stacked up. Also, probably did some serious friendly fire to those Dwarfs standing in the area. Flame Cannons definitely don't tell friend for foe apart as the missiles are actually exploding. Oof, nice bombing attack there, and just absolute death by boom. Big fiery boom is the fate of these goblins. Absolutely get blasted by the flame cannon and those bombs. Suddenly it's just Grimgor and the Troll Hag, as the rest of their units pretty much all rout at the same time. Now the Brimstone guns can focus here on the Troll Hag with their anti-large flaming damage. River Troll Hag is going to pull away there and try and escape. Grimgor also just smashes that Master Engineer's teeth in super hard. But, alas, Grimgor, despite how strong he is, can only do so much. We do see a little bit of Spirit Leech there on Thorek Ironbrow. It's really not going to do a lot because of his magic resistance. He's got hefty spell resistance on his anvil of 40%. So, it mitigates a significant amount of that damage. I mean, arguably still worth casting. I don't know. Probably I would have, if I were in the Greenskins situation here, be casting Spirit Leech on the Flame Cannons. You could kill their crews pretty quickly and possibly destroy the artillery pieces themselves with a couple of Spirit Leeches, especially considering how low the HP already is there. Likely kill a lot of the crew on one cast. But, yeah, Grimgor is going to have to be the hope for the Greenskins. Actually, Grimgor is quite scary. I mean, balance of power is still showing pretty close to even. The Spore Splode is also out in the distance doing a little bit of kiting there. Flame Cannon is trying to contact them. The River Troll Hag actually does shatter, which is unfortunate. These other Stone Trolls making a long flanking attack here as they regenerate their HP. As long as Grimgor doesn't lose in the time that it takes for them to get over here, should be able to help out reasonably well. Flash Bomb, though, does decrease Grimgor's melee defense down to only 21. And, I mean, Norgrimling's 43 melee attack, 32 weapon strength isn't insane, especially for a unit of their price, but still 10 AP per swing, while his melee defense is extra debuffed, able to get some decent hits in to kind of wear Grimgor down over time. Looks like we've got the pump wagons used up all of their ammunition. I don't know if they actually did anything. Yeah, they came close to paying for themselves. What are the regular ones, like 450 points? So, oh no, those are spiky rollers. Those are significantly more expensive. Yeah, that's not cost effective at all, unfortunately. They come into contact with the Slayers there and are barely able to beat them. Not even, probably. Trolls also just end up mostly routing as soon as they get into this local area, which is just trolls for you. Grimgor doing his best to hunt down Thorek. Almost call him Thorgrim. It's just me looking at the chair and not really looking at the beard, right? Anyway. Yeah, it's a pretty inevitable fate for Grimgor at that point to just get worn down. And Von Karstein takes on the win closer than I thought it would be, but the Flame Cannon definitely performed very well. Credit to him for being able to keep it online for so long. But, yeah, 1653 in terms of damage gold value, 23,000 damage dealt total, 210 kills. Just fantastic. The Slayers also do a great job protecting against a lot of this large, expensive stuff. Brimstone guns are an awesome bring in this matchup to help counter trolls in various units. Yeah, even the Thunder is paying for themselves is nice to see, definitely. So, nice combined arms dwarf win. Actually, Thorek himself gives a lot of support, tanks a lot of damage, doesn't really do much damage, but that's what you need from him, to be honest, to win a matchup like this. Yeah, let's take a look here. So, spiky rollers, yeah, they didn't pay for themselves. Snotling regular pump wagons didn't either. The Spore Splodas didn't look like they did. So, yeah, I'm not totally sold on the change to pump wagons. I think maybe if their explosion was more armor-piercing damage, maybe less total damage overall. I'm not really sure. Have to kind of play around with the numbers a little bit maybe in a mod and see how I felt about it. But it seems not great. Let's go ahead and just quickly kind of touch on things here. So for the Dwarf side, yeah, Flame Cannon's awesome. It's better now with the longer range and cheaper costs. Not really a lot else to say. But just drilling down a little bit more on the pump wagons here. So yeah, 500 for the basic Bump Wagon is reasonably expensive, given their relatively poor performance in that matchup. Granted, since these spores are non-AP, the mushrooms they're throwing are going to be better against non-armored factions, like not the dwarfs, basically, right? So it's a little bit odd because it's armor-piercing anti-infantry here and in the tooltip, but then no AP with the precursors makes them actually not that great against armored infantry, it would seem. I don't know. Need to play around with them a little bit more and see. It's just one battle, certainly. But, I don't know. Maybe this could be, like, just 10 AP damage and, like, 0 or 1, 2 base damage. I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.